On a chilly evening in a bustling city, a delivery driver navigated the crowded streets in his old, worn-out van. The sound of horns and the hum of engines filled the air as he made his rounds, delivering packages to impatient customers. His job was grueling, the pay was modest, but he took pride in doing it well. Despite his busy schedule, he always carried a sense of compassion, something his colleagues often teased him about. One evening, as he was finishing his route, he noticed a scruffy, thin dog rummaging through a pile of trash near an alley. The dog's ribs were visible, and its matted fur was soaked from the rain. The delivery driver's heart sank. He parked his van and rummaged through his lunchbox. All he had left was half a sandwich, but without a second thought, he crouched down and offered it to the dog. "Here, buddy," he said softly. "You look like you could use this more than me." The dog hesitated but eventually approached, sniffing cautiously before devouring the sandwich in seconds. For the first time, the dog's tail wagged, albeit timidly. The driver smiled, feeling a warmth that cut through the cold rain. The next evening, the dog was there again, waiting by the same spot. This time, the driver had prepared. He brought an extra sandwich and a bottle of water. Over the next few days, this became a routine. The dog, which he started calling Buddy, began to trust him more. Its tail wagged enthusiastically whenever the van pulled up. Word of his small act of kindness spread among the neighbors, many of whom took photos of the driver feeding the dog. They shared the story on social media, captioning it as a rare example of humanity in an otherwise indifferent world. But not everyone was pleased. Back at the delivery company, the driver's boss caught wind of the situation. A strict, no-nonsense man, he called the driver into his office one morning. "I've been hearing stories about you stopping during your route," the boss said, his tone sharp. "This is a business, not a charity. We're not paying you to feed stray animals." The driver tried to explain. "It only takes a minute, sir. I'm still delivering all the packages on time." The boss wasn't convinced. "One more time, and you're fired," he said coldly. That evening, the driver hesitated as he approached the alley. Buddy was there, wagging his tail and looking at him with hopeful eyes. The driver sighed, his heart heavy. He couldn't bear to let the dog go hungry. "All right, Buddy. This is risky, but you're worth it," he said, handing over another sandwich. Unbeknownst to him, a neighbor was recording the interaction and later posted it online with the caption, "Kindness isn't dead." The post went viral overnight, with thousands of comments praising the driver's compassion. However, the boss saw it too. The next morning, the driver was called into the office again. "You were warned," the boss barked. "You're fired. Turn in your uniform and leave." The driver's heart sank. He had bills to pay, a family to support, and now no job. "For feeding a dog?" he asked, disbelief in his voice. "Do you really think this is fair?" "Fair doesn't matter. Rules are rules," the boss replied, unyielding. Dejected, the driver left the office. He spent the rest of the day walking aimlessly, wondering how he would break the news to his family. That evening, he visited Buddy one last time, bringing the last of his savings in dog food. As he sat on the curb, feeding the dog, a car pulled up. Out stepped a young woman holding a camera. "Are you the delivery driver from that video?" she asked, her eyes bright with curiosity. The driver nodded cautiously. "Yeah, that's me." "Why?" "Your story has gone viral," she said. "People are inspired by your kindness. I run a local blog, and I'd love to interview you." The interview was published the next day, sparking an even larger wave of attention. Donations poured in from people all over the country, enough to cover the driver's bills and more. Strangers offered him job opportunities, and local businesses reached out with support. the biggest surprise came from an animal rescue organization. They offered to take Buddy in, provide medical care, and find him a forever home. They even extended a job offer to the driver, inviting him to work with them as an outreach coordinator. Meanwhile, the delivery company faced severe backlash. Customers flooded their social media pages with negative reviews, condemning the boss's actions. Under pressure, the company issued a public apology and offered the driver his job back. But the driver declined. "I've found something better," he said with a smile. Months later, the driver stood in a park, overseeing an adoption event hosted by the rescue organization. Buddy, now healthy and happy, played with children nearby. The driver's life had changed in ways he never imagined, all because of a small act of kindness. As he watched a family adopt Buddy, tears welled in his eyes. He realized that sometimes, the smallest gestures can lead to the biggest changes, not just for others, but for ourselves as well. From that day forward, the driver became an advocate for kindness, spreading the message that no act of compassion is ever wasted. He spoke at schools, community events, and even online forums, encouraging people to look for small ways to make a difference. One day, he received a letter from a young boy who had seen his story online. The boy wrote about how he had started feeding stray animals in his neighborhood, inspired by the driver's actions. The driver couldn't help but smile. His kindness had started a ripple effect, touching lives he would never even meet. As for Buddy, he became a mascot for the rescue organization, attending events and bringing joy wherever he went. The bond between him and the driver remained unbreakable, a testament to the power of love and compassion. And so, the man who lost his job for a stray dog found a purpose greater than anything he had ever imagined. He discovered that when we choose kindness, the rewards are far greater than the sacrifices we make. And in the end, that was the real karma that changed his life forever.